fitness industry, health industry is full of those who just want to mislead you, misguide you, and just tell you BS. As I've said before, there's a lot of fear-mongering around various different topics. And there's some reasons why that could be. I'm going to talk about one of them that's really definitely a kind of a newer, within like the past year or so, newer type topic that's really hitting heavy, especially around weight loss. So there's medications out there that most people know as Ozempic or Wegovy. Technically speaking, it's a GLP-1 or GLP-1 agonist, which is a peptide. So let's break down a little bit more information specifically on this and kind of talk about the misinformation, talk about some of the things that I've seen within the fitness industry and also studies, and kind of like on a personal trainer, nutritionist perspective. So before I go any further, don't forget to like, subscribe, and definitely share this with someone else. Of course, you can comment below. Helps out a lot for getting the algorithm going. Shameful plug for promoting the YouTube channel here. Outside of that, we're going to get into it. So as I said, it is a peptide. What are peptides? Peptides is a form of a protein in the body. No, not the exact same thing as what I'm telling you to kind of like make sure you get enough of in your diet. But to break down again, like the different, I don't want to get super sciencey, but again, it's a type form of protein in the body. There's several different peptides that are within our body. GLP-1 happens to be one of them. It typically helps with your satiety, or think of your ability to, like your appetite. Think of appetite suppressant. So you're kind of like a natural appetite suppressant. What the medication or the peptide that they're typically going to link it with, some of them are going to be mostly just purely that peptide. There could be like a slight variance and difference just because companies have to have slight different change, so because of whatever copyright or trademark issues. So with that being said, you'll have a more natural absorption into your body. What I mean is, it's not like a normal antibiotic where most of it is, or the whole thing is just a foreign or synthetic, something different that to your body that your body's not used to, however you want to look at that. So your body is going to respond much better, much quicker to it, and have less negative side effects. So let's specifically go into a little bit more with, again, GLP-1 or Ozempic. Not specific to that brand, but again, just because most people know it as that. There's a lot of hatred towards it. There's a lot of false information and misinformation about this specific topic. It started, if you track specifically with Ozempic, they actually started it years ago. It was specifically marketed to diabetic patients to help with diabetes. It then wound up finding out that it had more success with weight loss. So now, of course, they promote it as a weight loss drug. So there's several pharmaceutical companies that have gotten approved to produce their own, again, version of the GLP-1 and get it out in the market. That's why you see, like I said, I'll say Wegovy, because that's one of the ones that you see ads for, commercials and stuff, things like that. And kind of a play back with medications. Is a lot of times don't get confused when like, oh, I thought it was for this and now it's getting claimed for this. It must be, false advertising or something like that. A lot of times, again, because science is trial and error, we have to test so much. So when they put it out for specifically diabetes, just think of, again, marketing wise, they would have a higher revenue stream if they targeted weight loss, just because, again, that's going to branch way further than just diabetes. So when they realize that it's useful, why wouldn't any company decide to do, like, why not? So with that, kind of gaining a little bit of a perspective on why someone would choose to do that. Now let's talk about the negative information that's kind of proclaimed out there. And I've heard this from clients who come back to me and talk to me, because definitely in the industry, in the fitness industry, I definitely get it multiple times. There's clients who have heard, like, did you hear this? Or what do you think of this? So definitely I've heard the negative information. I've heard positive information. I've also, of course, I like to research and study different things so that I'm aware, especially because this affects my industry. I definitely studied up on this a lot more, especially within this past year. And Ozempic, or again GLP-1s, I definitely have a lot of hatred against it. Why would someone hate on something that is actually doing a lot of good? And why would someone want to put down something that actually is a positive thing? Very easily, you can answer that question by if it hurts their company, if it hurts their plans or their money revenue, or if it hurts, like I said, their business, hurts their agenda, then yes, some people can call me a conspiracy theorist. I do definitely believe there's a big agenda out there, whoever you want to consider behind that big agenda. And I'm talking, people who think I'm now going to get into politics. Politics mess with everything, so yeah, I'm talking about my industry. No, don't ask me who I'm voting for if you're going to go that route. So, side note, like Denzel Washington said to a person who was interviewing him, that's only for him and his family's business. I said it much nicer though. So with that, with the specifics on that, think of who it's going to hurt. Weight loss, if you can positively affect a lot of people's weight loss journey. So the obesity is at an epic high. It's at its highest rate as to date as it's ever been. And not just in the US, but across the globe. Especially in countries that are well developed and have, again, food at easily accessible. So who would it hurt to take out one of the biggest leading causes of health issues? Well, it would hurt tons of pharmaceutical companies. Why? Because a lot of pharmaceutical companies, or if we want to think big pharma, produce medication specifically for diabetes, specifically for high blood pressure, specifically for various different cancer treatments. They have different products for so many other factors that can be causations or potentially caused or correlated with obesity and being overweight. So if you were to help people lose weight successfully, you will now have at a broader spectrum you will now have negatively affected all of those companies, especially their revenue stream, because they're making money off of sick people. Who else would benefit from trying to spread negative information? Big food. Why would it be beneficial for big food to produce negative information? You're going to hurt their sales of their snack foods. Unfortunately, people who are overweight and obese are going to be a lot of the people who are going to consume a lot of the snacks, foods that they produce. You can even look at recent markers for Walmart. Their certain snack sales are down. Just one example of a negative effect to their business. And also, of course, the FDA. Because, again, negatively affecting both things that they care about. Unfortunately, it is a huge reason why someone would want to. When you see both sides come together, it's normally a good indicator of something is rattling the boat hard enough. It also has been shown, which we'll get into a little bit more, that there's other positive factors that it helps with within health, not just weight loss. So another one that would be a group that would want to mess with it would be governments or different countries' governments. Why? Because again, if you're like, well, they're not making money off of this. It can be argued, but more so closer to the fact that you are less to be controlled. If you start becoming more healthy, if you help majority of your society to be more healthy, you become your ability to think for yourself improves. You have more energy, so now you're more productive. You are going to have less stress, better sleep, all these different other factors that are going to improving your overall physical health. Confidence improves. All these things that are going to help someone be more of a better thinker and a better, more productive an individual, take more responsibility in themselves, and be more confident. Harder to control, harder to manipulate. So it would be easy to say that they would have a reason to mess with it. So all this negative information, all that being said, that's all well and good to think in context, but couldn't there still be a bad product? Yes. Let's dive into the specifics of this product, Ozempic, GLP-1, whatever you want to call it. With this product, like I said before, its origin is a peptide, a natural in your body substance. You're going to see all the different side effects that people are going to claim are going to be very similar side effects that someone would respond or have if they go into a big calorie deficit without doing any other health changes. What do I mean by that? If you were to go right now and just do a calorie deficit and stay in that for a while, you should see, the majority of the time unless something else is happening, you should see again weight loss. If you don't see that, again, you possibly are not in a calorie deficit, or you have been continuously in a calorie deficit for way too long. You're plummeting your metabolism, thus you are, again, like I said, not a calorie deficit for real. So there's other factors that we want to understand, but I'm really not going to jump into that because it's going to take a lot of time in this video. I'm trying to keep these short. So if you go into a calorie deficit, you don't change any other factors, you're not going to lift weights, you're not building muscle mass, you're not changing really the food you're eating, you're still eating not very nourishing food, you're just eating less of it, you're going to see all the effects that you see with people who are on it, that you are getting told these negative side effects. You're going to see that Ozempic face, as they call it, because again, you're losing musculature and fat through out of the face. You're also going to see the body become smaller, not looking necessarily healthy, because they're losing, again, the musculature at the same time. Because when you go in a calorie deficit, if you're not like doing the different factors that I mentioned before with high protein, you're lifting weights, you're going to see pretty much equal loss across the board of lean mass and fat mass. What is lean mass? Lean mass is muscle, is bone mass, is organs, is all these other, like pretty much everything else of your tissue that you're losing. Water. So now, person looks flat. So their body has, is especially if they're not hydrating properly either while they're on this, they're going to be just flush the system, a little bit more dehydrated. Their body's going to look, in a way, sickly, because of the fact that you're losing all this other tissue. And when people go, oh, you lose bone mass and everything, it's really bad for you. Go on, like I said, go on a calorie restriction and don't do all the other health things that you should do. You're going to see the same result. So it's not really any different. It's doing what it was intended to do, which is restrict calories. Can you use it wrong? Yes, you could use it wrong. Yes, of course, just like anything else we've seen in the past, that diuretics have been used in bodybuilding. Again, GLP-1s could be used in bodybuilding. There's so many different ways. We argue whether or not that's good or bad. A person could be also put on too high of a dosage for themselves, and not monitored correctly. Plus, if you're not being educated correctly, you're not going to do the things that you need to do. The goal should always be is to, like I said in the past, build consistency, build the good, healthy habits that are going to last you longer than any of this. So if we go back to, I'm going to hammer this home consistently, that if we go back to the 4 big factors that I mentioned before that are priority, if we improve your sleep, if we improve your stress management, if we improve your diet, and if we improve your exercise, we're going to have a major change over time. Yes, it's a slow process, but you're going to see the change. Same would go with anyone who goes on this, or if anyone's looking to try and lose weight. What do they need to do? They need to go into a calorie deficit. Okay, that's diet. That's part of, just a small part of diet that negates thinking about, they're not getting told any of this other information. So let's get back to Ozempic or GLP-1s and talk specifically on that. How could someone be successful going on it? Well, who would be the type of people who should go on it? I want to talk about success first, because if I say who should go on it, some of you are going to be like, oh, that's me, and you're going to do it and cut this off, and you're not going to listen to the pieces that you really need to know. So, and if you're still listening, awesome, thanks, because I ramble, and you're possibly highly bored at the moment. There's a lot of data in my head that's just going off. Needless to say, most of this, I come up with the topic that I'm going to talk about, and then I just let my brain just do the work. So no, this is not scripted, if you couldn't tell. It'd be hard to script while driving. Anyway, with that being said, I swear I'm not ADHD. with that being said, success on it. One, get with a nutritionist, get with a personal trainer, potentially go see a psychologist, something like that. One of those, all of those, whichever, be very useful. Or if you're like, hey, I don't have the money to do all those things, I'm already on it, my doctor got me on it, I just need some guidance. I will try to do that within my videos. So, but again, this is generalized. So with that being said, one, now if you're going on it, it's going to be a appetite suppressant without any stimulant, which is great. So it's an appetite suppressant. Your best bet is to start focusing on eating whole foods. Okay, go back to what I said in the nutrition thing. Eat whole foods primarily. If you can completely do whole foods, awesome, fantastic. Normally that's less likely, especially if you're just changing. Prioritize whole foods. Prioritize your protein intake. Keep a high protein diet. It's going to be tough because you're on a calorie restriction, but prioritize protein intake. If you're a doctor, share this with every single person you put on GLP-1, because it's going to be really important for them. Stick to a high protein diet. Prioritize whole foods. That's going to take care of your diet part. Exercise, big key, is strength training. If you want to minimize the loss of lean tissue, strength training. Cardio, leave it to walking, because you're already on you're going to be on a calorie deficit. It's going to restrict you. Prioritize strength training so you can minimize loss of lean tissue, of that muscle mass, of that bone mass, of all of the things that we want to keep. Alright, so that takes care of those two pieces. If you aren't already, work on your sleep. Go back and watch the video specific on sleep. I'll give a quick rundown. Prioritize trying to get a minimum of 6 hours, maximum of 9 hours. Or in other words, I'd rather say 7 to 10, because then you'll get 6 or you'll get 9. You'll get somewhere below that. And then, of course, stress management. Try to manage your stress. Like I said, psychologists is really, really useful. Counselor is really, really useful. Those things will help someone who's taking it to be more successful. Plus, work with your doctor and try to get them to microdose. What is microdosing, and why would that be important? First, we got to jump back to what most insurances are pushing when someone's put on a GLP-1. I remember talking to a doctor, a PCP. He talked about what he was told by insurance to do with GLP-1s. Hopefully I don't butcher this. I think it was 0.25 milligrams, I think, was the lowest dosage. Maybe butchering that, because again, driving, top of my head. Minimum dosage, and the process that the insurance sets up is to up it. Every time the person comes back, is they're supposed to up it. Now you're seeing where the problem is too. So the goal should not be to continue any medication, really. The goal should not be to live on it, to continue to live on it. I'll use an example. I was years back, and I was on it for multiple years anyway, but years back I was on an anti-anxiety meds. because again, my anxiety, my stress is normally my nemesis. So I was on a anti-anxiety med. If you read the side effects, this always gives you a laundry list of side effects, right? If you read the side effects, not great long term at all. So the goal was always to get to a point that I could get off the medication and deal with it myself, to handle it myself. So same thing with any of these, with any medication, is to be able to get yourself to that point, because you want, now everybody's going to be different on how long that is. Just like I used to take acid reflux medicine. I literally recently got off of it like maybe a week or two ago. By the time this airs, it'll be longer than that. But the goal was to eventually get off of it. I've been on that pretty much since before 12 years old, so a long time. For those who don't know how old I am, I'm older than what you think I am. So the goal is to get off of it at some point. I'll use a saying, and I'll probably butcher how it's said, but I'll use a saying that I remember hearing. Again, someone who I name dropped multiple times throughout this thing is Sal DiStefano said. He was telling this to personal trainers. Think of a GLP-1 as the same as, I'm going back to the anxiety meds, as the same as anxiety meds is for someone who's super anxious and depressed, who won't leave their house. Giving them that to get them just enough to get them to become productive and get outside and get in the sun and start getting around other people. If that little bit helps them start doing the things they need to do, it is well worth it, because eventually the goal is, again, to get them off of it. So they're saying GLP-1, if someone is struggling, they've tried so many things, they are willing to assume the responsibility that, yes, I'm in this state, they're accepting the fact that they're overweight, that they're realizing that something needs to change, that they're ready for that change, but they don't know what to do because they've tried so many things, and everything they keep falling back, failing. If this is just the little bit that helps get the ball rolling, and then they get moving, or if I'm talking to you that you're potentially in this state, if that's just the little bit that helps you get moving, to doing the things, to working with somebody who can help you develop a healthy lifestyle, then it's worth it. So this may seem like a ploy. I don't have any stock in any of these companies. I don't work for any of these companies. I'm just, again, trying to do what I think is the right thing as a trainer and a nutrition coach, to educate myself on the topic and then educate others on the topic, so that we are more aware of what is really going on and be able to help other people. Now, if you got who are the people who should take it? Who are the people who are right for it? Well, I just mentioned some. If you've tried everything to lose that weight, nothing, and you're just struggling to even move forward, because I've been there in other parts of my life. If it's, like I said, with anxiety, if it's like that for you with weight loss, then cool, that's one person. The second person, and you may be both of these, is someone who has a lot more weight to lose than 20 pounds. So if you have way more weight to lose than that, it would be useful to help get you going in the right direction, so long as, again, you do the other things that I've mentioned prior to this. And then the final one I would say is someone who's potentially, again, diabetic, and it's a great option for you potentially through your doctor. Again, I'm not a doctor. But if it's a great benefit for you in that sense, then it would be worth the moving over. For example, I have a grandmother who that has been the recommendation to her that I've given to her is like, speak to your doctor, because it potentially could lower the amount of meds that you're on just by using that. So anyway, those are just a few tidbits. Notice a longer video. I hope it was beneficial. I hope you stuck around all the way to the end and you didn't just watch the shortened version of this. Till next time.